You want to know what we've been reading and listening?
Get caught up with these reviews with Untamed and Crystal.
Welcome to the Get Caught Up podcast, book review edition.
Whether you're commuting, chilling at home, or just taking a break, we've got you covered with the hottest news, fascinating guests, and the occasional surprise. Buckle up and get ready to get caught up with us. Whether you're commuting, chilling at home,
Hello, everyone. We are here. Thank y'all for joining us for these Get Caught Up in these reviews, this live. I am your host, Untamed, and I have the pleasure to be joined tonight by my lovely co-host, Miss Crystal, Miss Books and Soul, and our special guest co-host, the narrator for the books that we will be reviewing tonight, Miss Lacey Laurel. How are you, ladies?
Hey, I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
I am happy that you are here too. And I just want y'all to know that this was not by happenstance. Lacey was our narrator of the month. I believe that was in July. Was it June? Was it June or July?
I think it was the end of June, maybe.
It was
Yep,
in June.
June.
And
Mhm.
we had talked about actually wanted to do like a review or something while we were on our discussion with Lacey. And she says, if y'all do it, I want to come on. And we said, okay. So we decided, oh, we're gonna definitely review this. And I hit her up and she was like, I'm there. I am there. So I'm excited that you are here. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to dive into this. So, y'all, this is something new that we're doing because Crystal and I buddy read like all the time. And
Mhm.
we're just like, well, of course, we have our reads that we do separately, but we're like, okay, since we're buddy reading, let's do some live reviews together and just talk about the books that way. Give, the authors more exposure.
Mhm.
And just so happened, I picked up The Oath by Miss T.M. Richardson. And baby, you couldn't shut my mouth about, about I
You
was
could
like
not. You could
I
not.
said,
You're right.
I said, Crystal, if you don't do nothing for the balance of your days, pick this
Mhm.
damn book up. And
Mhm.
so then we found out it was a part two. That's how the whole discussion was like, oh yeah, when part two come out, we own it. We gotta get the audio because reading it for me, I love audiobooks anyway. But Lacey slayed so
Oh,
well on
Yes,
this
she did.
audio. Like I could not listen to part two as much as I just wanted to pick it up and be like, let me devour it. I was like, no, I'm waiting for the audiobook to come out because baby, I don't it put a little extra on there and I need that extra.
You needed a man with this.
you know,
Baby.
I was the one thing that shocked me was that it was only from her perspective. Well, it's third person, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but it really was only her perspective in both.
Mhm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, oh, okay. But you got so much of the whole situation. Even with like the first one is got four, people that you're really kind of trying to figure out what's going on. You
Right.
still were in the know about everything. Like it wasn't one of those books that kind of you're missing information and then they drop it on
Mm-hmm.
you. It really
Mhm.
wasn't it wasn't that. If there was something, it flowed naturally. You still felt a part of it. and you weren't blindsided. So for
Exactly.
that to, a third person to do that, and it mainly be her vision, or looking on her situation. And then the
She
first
did
book
a
too
great
was kind of
job.
like two books in one, because the whole first part of her life
Yes.
compared to the
Yes,
change, and
that
you
is
needed
true.
that to kind of really get a sense of, to really like her enough to follow this journey with her, right? Because you needed to see
Mm-hmm.
where she's
Exactly.
coming from. And when you first start reading it, I thought, oh, this is gonna be sad. How can what's and it really, it it was
It gave me
sad, but it
life.
didn't take it over.
It gave me life.
Exactly.
Hmm. Yeah.
It
I,
sure did.
it that's what made me realize her age in life was what she was going through, and I was like, oh, this
Mm-hmm.
is this is a mature woman. Okay, we finna okay, because usually a lot of the stuff that I do, it's young 20 somethings,
Mm-hmm.
maybe early 30 something, but not someone who has a kid in college, or like who's
Right.
lived life, and then
Mm-hmm.
the whole juxtaposition of figuring out what she does with these relationships, but just how life changes and how you have to keep going. I love that
Yes.
because it
Do
made it
you?
more than
Yes.
just a
Yeah, I
romance
was gonna say,
Yes.
romance.
do you really feel that somebody in their 20s or 30s can handle that type of relationship?
Not in the same way.
Nah.
Yeah,
And
Not right.
remember, in this book, she didn't handle it well at first.
she didn't. You're
She
right, she
didn't.
didn't.
You know what
But
I
I
mean? Like
think,
she
yeah,
didn't. It took, and she felt uncomfortable with it. Like she was
right,
just like, I don't think I can do it. This is too much. So I can't imagine. Like if I think about myself in my 20s, that would have
Mm-hmm.
scared the shit out of me. I would have been like, nah, I'm out. I wouldn't have even opened my brain to the possibility. I'd been like, nah, that's too
Absolutely.
much. You doing the most,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. I
So
mean,
yeah,
now
and I think
20,
I think when
the
you're in
20s
your
crystal.
younger,
Yeah,
you couldn't take it serious either.
that,
that part, yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
they
You couldn't
were
take it
wanting
serious.
a life, and not just
Sex.
whatever. You know,
Right.
Yeah, they
not
wanted
just
a
in
life.
the moment. They wanted a life with her in whatever way,
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in your 20s, for me, I wouldn't have, there would have been no way. But she
Yeah.
also, I mean, she got to experience certain things that would have been realistically way more challenging, like having
Right.
a
Mm-hmm.
child. Like, not that I actually, I don't know this person or these people firsthand, but my one of my closest friends has a friend from high school, and she is in a, well, she was in, it was like two couples, and they were all choosing to be together,
Okay.
and they had
Mm.
kids, and they had little kids when this was going down. And when this was happening, I had little kids, and my best friend had little kids, and I was like, what? Oh, what with the kids? Like, how confusing is that? And I couldn't wrap my
Yeah.
head around that. And I was 30 when I was finding out about it, right? So I couldn't
Right.
imagine being 20,
Being
like
younger.
having that.
Mm-hmm.
It gets, not in a bad way, but messy, because that's way a lot of life. So I love that it picked it up from this, and you could see just the care that they had for each other and wanting to share that time together. Like that really came
Right.
home. And I
Yes.
don't think you
And
really
I
And
have
want
I
to
that.
tell
even,
and I
I,
want to tell everyone on Instagram and YouTube, hello, thank y'all for joining us in here. We're talking
hey.
about the oath and the offer, um, you guys. And if you haven't read the oath and the author, it's actually by T.M. Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just break this down real quick. Let me give y'all the plot real quick. So the oath is a husband's dying wish. It's for his wife to be taken care of and find happiness with a significant other after his untimely demise. He ensures this by tasking his three best friends with his wife's care as his last rites. That is book one, The Oath. And
Mm-hmm.
book two, The Offer, is two bisexual men want a female partner to share their life with and hone their sights on Alyssa. However, Kristoff's political campaign throws all of their personal lives into a frenzy, and what was once a private and personal relationship between three people becomes public fodder, risking all of their livelihoods. That is book two. So, woo! That is a lot for us to unpack tonight,
Woo!
honey. It is a lot.
It
So,
was a lot to
but
unpack reading it.
It was. It was.
it was, it was. But you know what? I'm not gonna lie, I loved every bit of it. So I
I
do
did
want to
too.
ask you, like, Crystal, what did you like about the book, about the oath and the offer?
Okay, so for the oath, first of all, I'm gonna say this, and I know y'all have seen my post, but I'm gonna say this right here, right now. T.M. Richards, I'm sorry. I need not 3 pack. I need a 9 pack of panties. A, I need a 9 pack of panties. I'll DM you
Oh
my
my god.
size because I don't think everybody need to know my size.
Oh my
And I need some new sheets.
god.
Listen, um,
Woo!
and
But let me just say this.
yes,
Oh.
The Oath, this book was great from the beginning. Now, I mean, we did say earlier that you thought it was going to be a little sad. I did thought it was going to be a little sad. I did shed a little tear. I did tear up. But I love this storyline, the characters and how the story developed, and they went from friendship to love. I love that Tatum's husband saw that she had needs and she was going to need to have somebody with her after he's gone,
Mhm.
and how his
mhm,
best friends were there to help. So they were there to help her, but they was there to love her, and they was there to like make sure they did what their friend asked.
Mhm.
Now,
yes,
my
yes.
favorite thing, because you guys, I love me some men's. And to be a Tatum, yes, I would be here for that. But can I just say that Cassidy was a favorite of mine? Who doesn't like a
Woo!
smart and mysterious man? And then the,
Girl,
the sex, I already said it. The sex was panty melting and sheet wetting hot.
Mhm.
girl.
Yes.
I listen. I'm gonna agree with you because when I sit here and somebody says, "What do you like about it?" Oh, I can only say, "Damn everything." Like
Yep.
I love, but I'm gonna take it even a step further. I love the uniqueness of the story. Now, it's
Yes.
not, something that we haven't heard about. We hear about poly romances all the time, right?
All the time.
But it's the way in which TM crafted the story.
Yes.
Like the stories itself, even though it's erotica, right? It
Mm-hmm.
was a wholeness in the story, and she brought these unconventional relationships to the forefront in a way where it brought understanding and not judgment.
Right.
And
Yes.
that I loved it. I loved it. And characterized, I love the selflessness of Frankie, because that is truly a selfless act to
Yeah.
say, I bequeath you my 3 best friends. Okay. So I'm like, what the heck, and
That's true.
baby, let me tell you something. Aside from that, I have my little, here's the little sweet side of it, but baby, the sex. I love
The
me some
sex was
Miles.
sexy.
Miles was my favorite. I love me some Miles. I
Okay.
love Frankie too, but I love me some Miles. And I had never in my life been interested in any type of male anything. But baby, that male, and
Yeah.
female, and male, all of that had me in a hot and bothered frenzy, crystal salt. And look, you talking about you needed some panties. I think I broke my husband. That
Oh,
nigga was like, "What is you reading?"
I think that was their relationship that they had, or well, yeah, because they had it before. Then he got married, and then they didn't. Miles
Oh
and
yeah, and Deke.
Deacon.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yes,
one surprise that you didn't really. Um,
See coming.
no,
that you did see
no.
coming.
But she didn't see
Absolutely.
it coming, and so that's why we were able to be surprised like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that just took it for me. That took it to an even more relatable, realistic level, because when you have so many people, there's obviously going to be times where people are left out, right? Or where
Right.
attention
Mm-hmm.
or whatnot, or that's what looking in from the outside in. That's what we think. So them having that. I was like, okay, then that I get that. And can I
Mm-hmm.
say that Cassidy, you know who he reminded me of?
Who?
Ooh.
At the beginning, because they were all like, well, what does he do? Where does he work? We don't know.
I know what you're gonna
What was it? Was it Tommy?
say.
Was
Tommy,
it Tommy?
you ain't got no time.
Y'all, when that man said he's an astrophysicist, I said leak, 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 leak.
Yeah. I was not. I thought it was gonna be like spy something. Like I thought it was gonna be something, but I didn't think.
Girl.
And then when she described him as like a what's his name? Degrassi.
Drake.
What is
Drake.
No. There's this is he an astrophysicist in real life? His name is Neil Tyson Degrassi.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, she
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yes.
When
Look
so
this
that's
man
who
up
I
real
started
quick.
seeing. He went from the Martin show to to that in my mind. But I
Yes.
was like, wow. And to me that brought a lot of what he could give to her just because of where he was coming from and what interested him in life. And I could
Right.
see how for him and for the lawyer, they were lawyers. One was I don't know if Deacon was a lawyer or a paralegal.
No,
But
he
He
was
was
a
a
lawyer.
lawyer.
he was a lawyer too, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
he
Mhm.
was a
They
lawyer
have
too.
such busy and full careers
Right.
to, at that age, be able to start a brand new relationship. Because when it's a new relationship, you're supposed to have that time period where it's you guys always together, always learning, and you know what I mean.
Right.
And at that point in life, you don't got time for that.
That's true.
That's just,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I have a friend, and she says that's the problem with dating now at our age in our 40s compared to when we were young is that we don't have time for all that stuff because you
don't.
have your
Mhm.
career, you have your family, you have your kids that you're giving enough time to. You just don't get that. And I felt like that's how that relationship really clicked and worked. And I've narrated other it's called Why Choose. I've narrated other Why Choose. But
Mhm.
this one, it was special in several ways. The
Right.
fact that they were already established in life, but also I had never seen a Black love. Why choose? Ever?
Mhm.
I had not.
Mhm.
If people have recommendations, let a girl know because I would love to really put that in because it just, one of the things that TM talks about on her TikTok one day, she was talking about how people were saying how they wanted to find men like them. And she was like,
Mhm.
well, they are out there. They're bi.
They out
And you
there.
overlook
Right. They're bi.
because they're bi.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
so I was like, well, especially in the Black community, you don't see, you know what I mean? You don't see that, or it's not, it's one of those things that a lot of people don't talk about. So when I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, everything about this book I love because there's so many different things I can relate to
Right.
while reading this.
Right.
The little inside jokes and the things that they remembered from when they were kids going to college. It just
Mhm.
really it was a full story for me.
Yeah, they were, and I, just to piggyback on what you said, in the Black community, it's like a taboo topic,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
taboo relationship, taboo topic. So that's why I feel like we know, and that's why I said we know it's out there, we know it exists, but no one really dares to tackle it in
No.
such a way. Like
Mm-mm.
we instead of focusing on it, and I'll tell you why specifically, and I'm gonna bring this up later too, because a lot of times our focus is on the intimacy and the sex of the thing and not the relationship.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And that's
so
what these
that's
books,
what
they
she
brought the
focused
relationship.
on. She
Yeah.
focused on the relationship of
Mm-hmm.
it, and that brought an understanding, and the sex was a bonus. Like,
And not
Yeah.
even going from the relationship part was going from a friendship
Mm-hmm.
to love. Like,
mhm,
so
Mm-hmm.
it went from, just friends to intimacy and how they had to adapt to that. And how, like you said, like when we talked earlier, how it affected her because she didn't know. And we'll kind of probably jump around because you know how we get sometimes. She didn't know
yeah,
that they
right.
all had feelings for her when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And
Which that's normal because when you're young, you're so into you, like you don't see
right, you
everything else
don't
going
see
on.
it,
So she had
right?
Franklin and
Mhm.
that whole thing. It didn't even occur to her. But I love too how it wasn't just like out of the blue. Okay, he said that they had already been living like an
Right,
alternate lifestyle,
right.
Right.
belonging to the club, being open to different things. So
Hmm.
it made sense. It made it feel like, okay, this is something this character would go through and
Right. This is
Right.
feasible.
You know,
And I
kind
wanna
of I wanted to piggyback off of kind of what you said, what they
okay.
was already living in a life. So I don't know if you guys have seen this because I feel, we were talking about this, me and my friends were talking about this at work, and it kind of like people like looking at Neo sideways. So Neo just recently came out that he's dating two people.
Oh no, I didn't hear that. Okay, okay.
Yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
has like I think it's on his page. He was out with both of the girls and he's dating two people. To me personally, and like I say, I say it all the time, I'm a trisexual. I'm gonna try anything sexual. If I want to try it, I'm gonna try. That's my business, not your business. If I want to tell you, then it's your business, but it's still my business. But my thing is, we have to, as a society, like stop worrying about what other people doing. If you
Yeah.
see them happy and loving
Mhm.
and all of that, then let it go. And that's when the reason I said that's because of her friend Nadine, and we'll
Mhm.
get into her. But my thing
Mhm.
is, we have to learn that, and it's so funny because I say this at work. What that lady said on what's name, sometimes your business ain't my business.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I
so
love
if
that
I'm
meme.
out here skipping down the street with two men that that's gay, that's been in a relationship, and then you see me in the middle of it and I'm holding their hands and I'm smiling, your business, my business ain't your business. So don't be
Mm-hmm.
looking at me any type of way.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I
Exactly.
love that they were okay with, Tatum. She finally got okay with being in a relationship with three other people because I mean, she did get judged.
Yeah, and
She
I
did.
like too. One of the ways that I felt like she really made this just a full like. To me, there weren't like plot holes missing because she
Nope.
had the friends, the one that was
Yep.
Mhm.
judgmental, the one that wasn't so much, like the
Right.
things that she would have to face in life. And then I felt too that the author took it even further with the worrying about other the
People.
public,
Yes.
because to
Mhm.
be
Yes.
real, there are a lot of things that like my husband and I. It amazes us how much compared to when we were in our 20s,
Mm-hmm.
we are not outside people. We don't go outside. We're not trying to hang with these people. We're not trying to hang with that people. My
Right.
brother-in-law, we joke because he just recently went through a divorce, and so now
Mm-hmm.
because he got married young, he's doing all the things that we did in our 20s. He's doing now,
Right.
and he's out there living it. And one of their childhood friends is a rapper, so he's out there just enjoying life. And
Mhm.
because of social media, we all can see it, right?
Right.
And I'm like, that's just not us anymore. We just don't do that. We got married.
Mm-hmm.
We are comfortable being in our house with our kids. So sometimes you do. I mean, like when you go to work and such, you do have to encounter outside world in your business or
That's
trying to
true.
look cool.
Mhm.
But a lot of times, a lot of people you don't. You would never know what they got going on in their house because they in their house and they not out there showing on social
Their
media.
business. Right.
Exactly.
But in book
Exactly.
two, by the nature of what he does, what they both do,
What they
it's
both
Mhm.
it's
do.
out there. You know what I
And you
mean?
know what? And that's what I love about the offer too, because TM dared to give both of these men these make them these public figures with
Mhm.
these particular careers
That
that
you're not
was
supposed to do.
highly sensitive to image
Mhm.
and sexuality.
Yep.
So
Yes.
that was
Yeah.
like the perfect marrying of their story and how if you were here, how would this, the judgment part
Mhm.
come out as far as now you're a public figure, you're the face of this company, or you're trying to be the face of the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That in
how
Mm-hmm.
do you
particular. That in
that in
particular. And it's
particular.
ironic to me, especially with politicians, because that's it. You're representing people, right? You're representing the
Right.
people in your area. The people in your area aren't living these perfect man, wife, 2.5 kid lives. So why do
Right,
you have to? I'm for a lot of these people, you're more relatable if you're living a lifestyle similar to theirs, right? But
Right.
that's
right.
not how our culture, American culture in particular, is. But I love how she dabbled in that with this book. She just took that whole lifestyle, said, okay, now we're gonna deal with somebody who is already out in the public and how are they perceived. I mean, and they pretty much, the way she describes it in the book, they have been doing stuff, those two men, with other women occasionally since college, right?
Since
So
college,
it
Right.
had
right?
never
And
really
20
been,
years.
yeah, they felt like they had never really been necessarily secret. It just they
Right.
hadn't found a permanent person to do that with. Um,
That's true. And then people
so
just thought they were just best friends because of course they were college roommates. They've been
Yes.
friends for so long and they was, they was mindful of doing things out in public that would make people talk. And
mhm.
I love the fact that, and I'm gonna stop and I will bring it up later because like I said, I'll be all over the place and be telling stuff. So yeah.
Oh, you fine. You fine. Listen, I do want to ask you, Lacey, though. What was your favorite part to narrate out of both books?
Yes.
You know what part kind of sticks with me?
Mhm.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. There's some of the sex scenes that stick with me.
Yeah,
So
I
one of
think
the
they stick
things
with
that
a
she
lot of
she
Dang.
people.
she messaged me and she apologized because of the pegging. I was like,
I, oh, tell, tell me that was your favorite part, please.
it was no, it wasn't my favorite part. But
I,
I was like, to be honest, I have narrated Reese Witherspoon. Not Reese
Hmm.
mhm.
Witherspoon. I'm thinking of the actress. I'm mixing their names. Rebecca Witherspoon.
Yeah, Rebecca Witherspoon.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Reese could be like, wait a minute, what did I write?
Right.
And she, when I first narrated for her, was Rafe, and Rafe was male, female, and for most parts, it was more about the fact that it was the male nanny, and that's where all the oh my goodness came from.
Right.
But discovering her other works, you dive more into different sexualities and different sexual proclivities. And when I had narrated Rafe was at the beginning, kind of the beginning of my narrating career, and if you had asked me then to narrate it, I would have been like, what? That's a thing? What? Clutching my pearls. It would have been the whole thing, right? But
Mm.
she took me through my paces to where, and I remember her talking about including pegging in a book, and I had to look it up. I had to be like, hold on, what is she talking about? And I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's what that's called?
I
Okay.
learned
Okay.
about pegging in my 20s when somebody asked me to do it.
See, I was
See?
not, I did not, I was so, my husband jokes because he says, I'm so, but like he goes, it's vanilla. They say they're vanilla. You are so vanilla. So to hear that
Vanilla?
you narrate this stuff, he goes, it just cracks me up every freaking time.
Yeah.
And for people that we know, I narrate romance. Like, I don't understand why they look at me all funny. He goes, because they're thinking of all the things that they would never associate you even knowing about. And now they're like, oh.
Oh
Listen,
my
when
goodness,
But
yes.
she
Kadeem told
apologized.
her,
She was like, I'm so sorry you
oh,
had to narrate that. And I was like, girl, please. It
oh,
was a pleasure. Don't even,
That
like, come on
listen,
now.
that
when
was sweet.
Kadeem, when Kadeem said that he would have laid his big ass down and
And
let
threw his
her
legs up and let you. I said,
I remember
oh,
that. Yes,
I
yes.
said,
take me there, baby. Take me there.
Oh my God.
right.
I
No,
think though my favorite part, because so this is just me. I complain about my daughter being dramatic, but she gets it from me. My favorite part, I think, out of both books was when the son came and kind of walked in on him
Yes,
and was in hysterics. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
to me, that conflict, that nugget of, yeah, a child really would, no matter what they doing in their life, they would have
right.
that judgment. I don't know why, but I love it when a child thinks that their eyes are open to the fact that their parents are people.
Oh, I'm going
And
through that right
sexual
now.
beings at that.
Yes.
I'm being raised by my daughter. Like she
Yeah.
sent me a meme last night talking about are you a child who's trying to raise your mom because she don't listen? I
Hmm.
responded back, I sure don't and I never will. Have a good night.
Yes. Yeah,
Like
no.
yeah.
So my oldest son is a freshman in college this year, and he went away. He's about 2.5 hours away. And
Mhm.
I mean, just from the first time he went to orientation for 2 weeks, it just was different. The first time we didn't pick right up, or, we were
Right.
doing something. He's like, what y'all doing? And the questioning and the this and that. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't even answer my text messages. Don't be up in
Yep.
me. What? Come on
Exact.
now.
Listen, my high school senior, who was a junior last year, he had asked us, can he go to his one of his friends on his track team had a sleepover birthday party, and we had met both his parents, and we were really cool, so we were comfortable with him. He's 16, so we're like, okay, you
Mhm.
know, so we let him go over there, whatever, and so he calls us because he didn't know. Like, I jumped in the car with my husband, and we do that a lot of times. We'll just go places together. But he didn't know we were actually about to go out to, like, to eat together. As a couple, have our own
Mhm.
time. So he forgot something, and he calls us. And of course, when you answer the phone and you're in your car, you sound like you're out and about.
Yeah.
So I answer the phone, and he's like, "Mom," and I'm like, "Yeah, what's up, Cam?" And instead of him telling me what he wants, he's supposed to, "Where you at?"
Yep. Always want to know where you at.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Don't worry
Yes.
about where I'm at. What
Don't
you
worry
talking
about
Uh-huh.
me, boo.
Yes,
And I
and it
keep
gets.
warning my
I'm just
kids.
letting y'all know this. It gets worse as they get older. My daughter is 30, and she thinks she's my mother. She said, "I am your mother." She said all the time. I went out with some friends in June, and she called me. I think it was like 3 o'clock, and I answered the phone. She said, "You up?" I said, "Yeah,"
Girl,
and I said, "And I'm driving.
listen,
What do you want?" She said, "What? Minding my business. Where
Mm-hmm.
you at?" She talking
girl,
about something. That's why I'm calling to see where you at. Yeah, it gets worse. It
girl,
gets
and my
worse.
my oldest daughter is good for this. I'm on the
Mhm.
phone. You on the phone? Yes. Who you talking to? None of
Yeah. Mhm.
your
Yep.
damn business.
But you
No,
want to know
I
what all you
turned
Oh
got to
off
do is
my
get her
find
back.
my iPhone. The find your iPhone. I
Yes.
Uh-huh.
turned it off for them to be able to see me. And I can't remember why. I had to turn in the phone. So, they make you turn off that, or they say you can't get your credit for whatever you're getting.
Right.
And I forgot to turn it back on when I got the new one. And my oldest, well, I'm going to turn mine off because I don't know where you be at. Where do you think I be at? Where do you think I be at? Like, come on
Mhm.
now. But because of those, for me in my life, that's like what I'm going through. So when that happened, I was just like, oh, my kids would damn near fall out. They would not even know how to get it.
For
God
real.
forbid mom have a life, has a sex life, has somebody likes her. Oh, that's just not
And then you with my uncles. He was
Oh
Right.
yes,
cheating.
that
Listen.
was it.
Yes.
They
He got on my
yeah.
nerves though. Cause I was like, and I felt like because I have kids that age, actually older, and I felt like I was like, mind your goddamn business. She grown,
Well,
and
especially
you
because
bent over
he
seven
was
ways
messy
on Sunday.
himself. He was messy himself dating his mom's assistant who was older than
Thank
him.
you.
Exactly.
I
Like,
was
come
And
so
she
on.
glad
called
when she
him on
called him
that.
out on that.
Yeah.
I was glad when she
Hmm.
called him out on that.
I love that whole thing. That was like I think that was like my first favorite. And I think
Right.
my second favorite, well, let's see, my one from The Offer. Any scene where her friends, the ones at the barbershop, are in,
Hmm.
Yes, Shawnita and
Shawnetta.
because
Shawnetta
they
and
are just so full of life, and they
they
was
really
trying
are.
to let her. They was like, "Come out, let's do this," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I like friends like this."
You
They were just so lively.
I just thought about something because me and Untamed talked about this, and because we didn't know about them in the first book, so we were both saying we hope it's another one, and we was thinking it would be Nadine's daughter. But I would
Mm-mm.
love to see a book with them two, not together now. I mean, if they want to get together, that's
Yeah,
fine.
you know
But
what? I would love to see her tackle
What?
Nadine.
I was thinking
Yes.
that too.
I
Listen,
was
so
thinking because she mentioned one of the friends,
she
and she was like, "Oh no, no,
yes.
no, no!" I
Yeah,
would
Carl.
love to see
Yep,
that because that would be like pulling teeth, but it would be just excruciatingly. I think she could do it.
I think
Listen,
so too.
Crystal and I actually were like making bets on it was going to be a third book with Nadine, and we both came up with titles. And
Yes.
so I I look, my guess was, and I say this again too in a little bit, but I I say, look, I'm hopping around now too, Crystal, but my guess was the option, and
And
Crystal.
I said the obvious. Because obviously Alex, because we were thinking Alex. I mean, obviously Alex is about that life, so why wouldn't
So,
she
and
be
I was
called the
thinking the
obvious?
option because of Nadine. I was like, the option. So,
Ah,
Yeah.
I would love. I kind of because she's. If you wanted, if there's always a person that's close to the hero or heroine that is just not as likable as the rest. There just almost
right.
Right.
always is,
Right.
and that's
Hmm.
Nadine. but
Yes.
that's kind of her job, to be like the levity, to be like the reality, to kind of bring that in, like how other people are going to see it, so they kind of know what they're stepping into, like so they can
Yeah.
really think about what they're stepping into. To me, that was her job, right? And she did it well.
She
With her
did.
She
bougie
did.
self, she did it
She
well.
did it
Yeah.
really well.
But
I oh
even her daughter too, that would be a good one, because that would
I
just
would love to see a book about
she would pass
Alexis.
out.
I mean, yeah, she was like, she's like, go ahead, aunties. Like, I loved it when she threatened Kadeem and Christoph. That was so funny.
Oh yes,
listen.
yes,
Now
yes.
I'm gonna tell y'all, and this is now that we got on Kadeem with Kristoff, I want to back up just a second because we were talking about Nadine and how she, was the one that was kind of like the unlikable one.
Mhm.
But now I'm not gonna sit here and tell a lie. Alyssa irritated my. I love the offer, but she irritated my soul. I
Yes.
was like, girl,
Yes.
I was. She said, I forgive me. I was so harsh when I said this, but I was just like. When she was talking about she was being scared to love because everyone left, and I felt her for that. But then I was like, girl, at your big old age of 40, if you don't seek therapy and love these two men who trying to love on you and stop this
I told her just shut up and suck a dick.
Oh, so
Just
I
shut
felt
up. She's
like
getting on my
for
nerves.
her, there was just so many obviouses. Like, well, even
Yes.
for Tatum, it was like, obviously this is where you're supposed to be. So just stop it, and move on.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know what I mean? I just want to just smack. Come on, let's go. Because we saw it. Why can't you see it? You in
Why
it?
can't you see
Yes.
it?
Why
And
can't you see it?
I did
Mm-hmm.
tell Untamed, I like the fact because I'm just like, these men are showing you that they want to be with you, that they want to give this a try.
Mhm.
And I said this to
Mhm.
Untamed. I said, I feel like we as women have to let go. And I know it can be hard, but
Mhm.
we have to let go, like, especially when we know we want another relationship. So we didn't get
Mhm.
out of a relationship that treated us like shit, dragged us through the dirt, kicked us while we were down, kicked us while we was up. But now I'm out of this. Take the time to heal
Mhm.
and put yourself back
Yeah.
out there. And then when somebody comes in your face and show you what you've been looking for, oh,
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, I'm gonna try
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna try this. And
What
it's
is
so
that saying
funny.
that they say, people will show you better than they'll tell you,
Tell
right?
you, yes. And
So
Exactly.
just like
and
people, you show you how the
they
red
are
flag, they
in the
will also
beginning when they
show you
first meet
green
you,
flags.
they
You
sure
got to
will.
see those and be okay with those too.
And I'm also
Exactly.
say this, and if you tapping into this in your spirit and your soul, because me and Tam, we've talked about this. When you say what you want in that next person, whether it be a man or a woman, be ready for it.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
if you're not ready for it, you still gonna miss out. And it's so funny because like I said, me and my friends were talking today, and like I will say certain things, and I was like, nope, not ready. So I'm always adding. Okay, I have three things. At first, I ain't had none. So now I got three things that I'm looking for in my next person, but
Mhm.
I'm just saying them to myself because I'm not ready to put them out there yet.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then I talked to somebody, and he had three of those things, but he also had somebody else. So it's like you got to be careful to say now those three things, those four things that you want, just make sure that
Yeah.
they don't have it with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a lot, but you just
Yes.
gotta
It's
be
one of those
ready
things
for it.
where they say God to give you what you ask for,
And
but
he sure
that
will.
Yes.
doesn't necessarily mean that's what you need, right?
Right,
So you're
Right.
asking
right.
for it, but then look at the full picture and see.
Yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
both of those ladies, Tatum and Alyssa,
Mm-hmm.
Elisa,
Elisa, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum and Elisa, both were. It was almost like they were afraid to say what they wanted next in life, and
Right,
they
Yes.
were
right.
content and living the day to day without, like,
Mm-hmm.
so for Tatum, I mean, it was the obvious. Her husband died, and it's like, eventually, boo,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna have to live this life for you, right? Because
Right.
it's no
Your son is
longer,
grown and
it's
gone.
it's just the change that you've been given, and it sucks, and I'm sure it hurts, but it eventually you got to heal and move on. And she was just
Mm-hmm.
content and kind of crippling her life so that
Yep.
she didn't have to admit, he's gone and I'm moving and living for me, right? And with
Yes.
Elisa, she just wanted, like you were saying, she wanted to use a lot of what she had been through and just be like, I can't do no more. So I can't
Right.
Yes,
hurt.
And you
So
That's
I'm
what's
And
crazy
I'm
thinking,
about
so
her.
glad that you said that because it was this one particular part in here that I was like, I almost wanted to come through the audio book airwaves and choke her. And Crystal, me and her, matter of fact, we just talked about this.
Yes.
When Kristoff's world blows completely up
mhm,
and
Mm-hmm.
he's on stage and he makes this assertion. I'm like, okay, things have already come out. You
mhm.
choose this moment around the public when he's like going through, his mind is not there, he's mentally like not aware, to want to be like, okay, this is it, I'm pissed off with you, I'm gonna go off on you, and then Kadeem tag teams and jumps in there and starts fussing and calling him subpar dicks. Like,
When they get it,
what?
yes, when they get into it, I really felt like that was okay. So I feel like even though throughout that whole book, so the whole premise is that she's the beard, right? Like kind
Right.
of, sort of the beard, a little twisted, right?
Right.
Um, and you knew he was doing it so he could be elected. Like they were saying, "Oh, you're not really doing it so you can be elected." Or yeah, duh, you are. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
right. And they're paying you for it. You are. Just say
yeah,
it with your full chest now. Come on,
yeah.
But knowing that, to double down hard on him when that's what, if he had to go to that extreme to get the thing that he wanted, and then that's taken away from him, how y'all gonna double, like, come on now, y'all knew the parts you played.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you knew the parts you were playing, and my thing was that it was the timing. Like, okay, at this juncture, even though the fodder was out there were still some things that people could speculate on. You
Yeah,
get into an all-out argument and y'all screaming and shouting. Well, now they don't have to
everybody gonna
even
know
guess.
every last
They
thing.
gonna
Now
know. They know
we talked
everything.
about that earlier, because so I
Mhm.
beg to differ from what you guys are saying, and I told this to Untamed. Now, right, the timing wasn't bad, but I was finally happy that they stood up for themselves. Now, granted, like
True.
you said, Elisa was the beard, but even though she was the beard, they didn't treat her like she was the
Yeah.
beard. They
Yep.
Yeah,
treated her like your family. This is our family. This is our
Mhm.
yeah.
dynamic, and
Mhm.
this is what they want to do. I just feel like that, it's always a time and a place for things. And I feel like that because
Mm-hmm.
I'm older now, because whatever I have to
Mm-hmm.
say, I don't care where I'm at or who I'm saying it, I'm gonna say what I gotta say. I mean,
Mhm.
I do that all day at damn work. I tell them how I feel, and they be like, "You too
Yeah.
loud."
No,
I
but
don't
I
give
think
a
that was
fuck.
one of the things that Elisa needed to grow throughout the book.
Yes,
Yeah.
She could never speak
yes.
for herself.
And
Yes.
She
that's why
was
I was
real good at
okay
being
with that.
loud about everybody else,
But not
But
but
for
she
that's to
couldn't
herself.
speak
cover
for
what she
herself.
couldn't say for herself.
And that's why
Yeah.
I was okay with that, because I was like, both of them, not even just her, Kadeem too, because I felt like Kadeem never spoke for himself.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
his
not
parents
all.
literally said, "We don't like this. We cut you off." Like, you hid for years the person that you love. Like, I love
Mm-hmm.
that. Oh my gosh, I love Kristoff's mom. I love that Valencia
Yep.
said,
Miss
"I wasn't
Felicia.
sure." Yeah,
Yes.
she was like, "I wasn't sure, but I knew this." Yeah, if my child had been with a
Sure.
man for years that's a good friend, and every Mother's Day we together taking our mothers out, y'all fucking.
Mhm.
Ring, ring,
Exactly.
period.
Okay.
And
And
both
first
called
of
me
all,
mom. And
Yes,
yeah,
Mother Miller. Now, if anybody in the book pissed me off the
well,
worst, it was
his
Mother Miller.
family.
yes,
I really feel like his family, and then you hear about this. You hear about it in real life, but you also see it in like movies. It's just like this prototypical
right.
family that is willing. I think, especially with our generation, these parents that are willing to take and not give back into their
Mm-hmm.
kids,
Yes, and that's what
because
they
he
were
was giving
doing.
to them financially. He was
Yes.
giving to them by being this upstanding person that they could show the
Mm-hmm.
community, I'm the good pastor, my
Mm-hmm.
son is this. They were
Right.
just taking and
Not
taking
living
and not
his
giving
life.
back. And he
Right.
had to learn how to stand up and say, nope, I'm cutting you off. There's a whole thing I was reading, I can't remember what magazine it was in, about people that are in their 30s and 40s, and now it's starting to get into their 20s. They're just cutting off family that are
Yeah.
toxic.
Let me
They're seeing the signs and they're like, no more. No more.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like, and I have something I tell people all the time, this is something I had to learn. And not saying that cut off limit. Yes, I have siblings. One of them I deal with, one of them I don't deal with, like at all. And it's just basically like we didn't get to choose our family. We was
Mhm.
born into this family. So nowadays, like you said, people are choosing their family.
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, because if it's affecting your mental to the point that you are
Yes.
never happy, then that's what you need to do. And I'm glad that he finally decided to cut off his family, cut his ties with his family, because now as an adult, he's getting his own family.
Mhm. And I think he got comfortable because there was space between them. So it's
Right,
it's easy to not have to make that definitive choice because you don't see him that much anyways. So go
right.
ahead.
You
If
don't.
you're not gonna
You
miss
see
the
her
money,
Mother's Day.
send the money. Maybe Mother's Day I see you, but I'll send you the money. I'm not gonna miss it. It's a lot less hassle to send you the money
Right.
and not have to
And
deal
then I
with
have to
you.
deal with you. Yep.
Exactly. But
Exactly.
that really, I think that played into the reason why they were comfortable. Although they said they were never secretive, but you kind of were.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
But you
mean?
You
kind of
were.
were.
You
You
And
were.
were.
Right.
that
And
fed
it,
that whole just pushing things to the side for him. So I think when he
yes.
exploded, that was a part of the reason why he exploded in such a weird place at a weird time because it just was
Right.
like the last straw.
It
Boom.
was the
Yeah, I'm
last
like,
straw.
yeah, you're blowing
So,
up my life. My parents are not speaking to me. It's things like that. And this is what I told Untamed. The other thing about it is, yes, it was at the wrong time in the wrong place, but you didn't give me an option for
Yeah,
you to blow
that's
up my
true.
life. You
Hmm.
mm,
decided on your own, because you always dictate everything in this relationship, that I'm going to go ahead and put out in the opening that we are a couple.
Hmm.
Hello, did you ask me? So that was the thing why I was like, yeah, get his ass, because you put me in
look,
the situation without getting my input
Yeah. No,
or
that's
look,
okay
true.
on it.
and look, and
Yeah,
I was sitting here like it was. I was like, it was halfway ass already out there because Reese
yeah,
old jealous ass
right.
done already blew up the spot anyway.
Uh-huh.
So
Crazy,
it was
crazy
Oh
it.
dingy
man.
Yeah,
broad.
with her, that was enough. Her and
I called that
Reese,
at the beginning though. I knew. I knew.
I know it was her.
right?
Yeah,
She
I knew.
Reese
I knew it
and
was
the
her. I
mama.
knew she was jealous. I could tell she was itching it for it to be her. She gave that pick me. Pick me, pick me,
She
pick
gave
me.
them pick me
yeah.
vibes. She
She gave the
did.
pick
She
me vibes.
did.
She didn't give the psycho vibes. She just gave the pick me.
Yeah, pick me vibes.
I thought she was gonna find out it's not you when she was gonna have to go away, but I didn't know she was going. But
I
I'm not
I knew it
surprised.
was her. I didn't. Now I knew it was her. I felt like she had a reason or a vendetta or something that was going on amiss. I didn't really. I had picked me, and there was a few theories I had going on in my mind. But just to find out, I was like, "Girl!" And then she turned into a psycho. I was like, "She crazy
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
real." She
Now
crazy
I
for
expected
real.
so back in the oath, I expected that student to go psycho, and he
Me
didn't. He
too.
kind of went
Me too.
away. But
Thank God.
that I
Well,
love
they
that
had to
part
pull up
too.
on them. I would have went away. I would have went away too if
Yeah.
three men
Yeah.
pull up on me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
listen, he was gonna go psycho and he thought better
Right.
after the dudes after three dudes put up on it. But you know what, you guys, I wanna insert here and I do have a special surprise. So this is a special surprise for the viewers. It is also a special surprise for Crystal and for
Yeah,
Lacey.
because she wouldn't tell me. I didn't like that for her.
I knew it. I knew it.
I don't see no
Hi.
panties anywhere.
You don't see panties?
I don't see panties.
I will mail you some, girl. It's real.
Look,
I
I
will
said
mail you
I'll DM you
some.
my size. I don't want to put it out there because then I'll probably be having a bunch of people trying to send me some
Oh
panties.
my god.
Listen, I'm hollering because she said she left us a note that said our analysis is spot on.
Spot on. Like y'all are
Yes.
killing it. I'm like, man, there's some stuff I didn't even think about, but y'all killing it. I'm like, yep.
Yeah,
Like I didn't
she
write the
said, I'm
book.
like, yep,
Yep,
yep.
yep.
I mean, thank you for writing this. Like, thank you for being open enough to put this stuff out there. You got a woman out here pegging fine ass men.
Listen,
You
I mean, I'm
got
not the
a
first
woman
person to
I
out
was
here.
say
ready for her to
Yes,
pay Kadeem. Do you hear
I
me?
was too. I was too. I mean, they out here being slutted out. I was telling my friends I'm at work reading. I was telling them I was at work reading, and they was like, "What are you reading?" I said, Well, I'm not telling y'all. Y'all already think I'm nasty. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was phenomenal.
It
thank you so
was.
Phenomenal.
much.
Top
It was
tier. The
so
sex.
so good.
Mhm.
Thank
Oh,
you
the
so
sex.
much. I appreciate it. And with Lacey's narration, let me tell you something, baby.
Yes,
That took that to the next level. So Lacey,
it
thank
did.
you. Thank you
Oh
so
no,
much.
thank you. I literally I remember reading it going, I have to be a part of this. This is
And she slid in
different.
my DMs.
Yeah, I sure did. With no shame. When
No,
Yes.
I
I
was like,
didn't think I was all
I'm
the way through
so
with the
glad
book.
you
And I
did.
was like, wait a minute, this has got to be an audio and I want to be a part of this. I'm kind
and
of
it
waiting
was
for
so
Yes.
funny
one.
because when she slid in my DM, like a day or two before, I had just got the audio deal, and I was like, and they were like, "Who do you want to narrate?" I said, "Funny, you should mention that." I was like, So I got this audio deal going, so we worked it out, so it's all good. So everything worked out for the best.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. I
That is
mean,
the perfect pairing too. It
thank
really
you.
was.
yes.
I promise you, my exact thoughts about the both of you ladies were Tim, you were born, and Lacey, you were born. You were born to write it, and you were born to narrate this because
Rated. Yes.
there is no
Yes.
one
Thank
else
you.
that I think could have done a better job. Like
And
the
not
way
even
it was
that,
written.
you did
Yes,
it by yourself, both books.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yes,
I mean, I loved it more because it's like we getting the voices. So, when Deke and Mal showed back up again, we still got the same voices. Tatum showed up, Nadine.
yes.
I mean, everybody. I was just like, oh my gosh, this was so good. I didn't want it to end. Like, I want to go be their friends.
You know what? I want the prequel where it's Tatum and Frankie and in college.
Can you just
That
put me
the
in there and
scene
put
where they
me beside?
described when they met and the other guy saw her too. I
Yes, that
want
would
that.
be
Yes,
so
That's what I
cute.
want.
maybe that'll
that'll
be
be
a
I'm
cute.
bonus
saying,
chapter or something. Yeah,
put it
Hmm.
on your
Yes.
Listen,
list.
well, we already like have basically said you got a third book cover. You, I don't know
I
if you
do. I do
heard.
have a third book coming.
Yes.
That is true. Yeah,
Hmm.
I've been listening to y'all guesses and stuff, so I'm just over here like, that's
Oh,
interesting.
I saw it at the end of the book when I finished. I saw the name of the book already. We don't know who it is, but I saw
Nope,
the book.
nope.
And
Yeah.
Oh,
listen,
I'm gonna have to go back and look.
now look, now you gotta tell me because you know I don't listen to the audio book.
Yeah.
I
So,
didn't think she,
so the third book is going to be called. You were close. I heard you say option.
You were
It's
close.
the opportunity.
Yep.
The opportunity, and it is an age gap
Yep.
romance.
Hmm.
So it's an age
Oh.
gap with a bit of a twist. That's all I'm gonna say.
So that
Um,
means it's the daughter, it's Nadine's daughter, is
I'm
Alex.
not telling y'all. Y'all gonna have to see the first
I don't
person
know. She
to
said a
You
twist. She
know,
said a twist.
I say
Tatum
I'm
and
not
twist.
telling y'all. Y'all
Well,
have
she
to
about
see.
to be twisted and slutted out by an older man and a younger man, and I'm here
Somebody
for
No,
gonna
it.
be look.
no, it's
Hey,
backwards. It's gonna be Nadine with some young baller that her husband is like on the team. I don't know.
Ooh, or maybe
listen.
Nadine and it's going to
Ooh,
be two women and two men.
I don't
They
know.
going
a
they and little
couple.
EJ be gonna have
They
an
gonna have
uncle
a
daddy
couple.
or an auntie mommy.
It's gonna be a whole nother couple.
Is that Auntie Mommy?
Auntie
is
mommy,
Auntie
that?
uncle
mommy,
daddy.
auntie
What is
mommy, and
that?
uncle daddy.
Yep.
Uncle
I
Daddy.
like that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying. The
She
guesses have
said
been
she is
so
not
funny
gonna
though.
say
Like,
it.
but I just want to know, y'all got us so much Nadine slander. Like, y'all don't like the lady. Y'all can't stand
Listen,
her.
Nadine is a
I like Nadine.
judgmental
I will
lady
say
who had
this.
a baby in her 40s. She was mad because she had a kid in her 40s, had a grown daughter, and now her titty sagging. She was not happy.
I like Nadine, but she was judgmental, and so I was just
Too
like, but you
Nadine is
know,
judgmental.
like, I always say Nadine is like the when you have a play like the Greek chorus. She's the people in the audience. The things the
Yes.
people in the audience say.
Mhm.
yes,
Like, oh,
Right.
this can't happen. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
You
she's
know,
that that's gonna show them what the world is really gonna say,
what
and
the world is really gonna
she's got to
say.
take
Right,
all that on. Yeah.
right,
Hmm.
right,
I'm the
right.
friend
and I'm
that's
sitting here
gonna be
like with
like,
Nadine. I'm sitting here with like Nadine. And she's like, well, they're gonna say we know what they're gonna say, but I'm gonna go over here and get busy with these three men. I don't give a damn what they saying.
cares?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? That's how I was feeling. I'm like, girl, she had a toddler running around. She too tired to have sex. Maybe I'll get him somebody to have sex with. Don't say that too loud, because then you're gonna be mad.
Right.
Then you're gonna be mad. So watch what you say.
Exactly.
But guess what? You always can say, just tap me when you're done. Tap me when you're done.
Put me in, coach.
Right.
Oh
Yeah,
my
just put me in.
gosh.
Yes,
I think
just tap me when
Nadine
you're
was
done.
fun for me to write because Nadine is, like I said, she's the audience, the people like, oh girl,
Yes.
no,
Yeah.
But
oh my
she
god,
was a necessary evil, though,
She
in my
was. She
yeah,
opinion.
definitely
She
was.
wasn't necessary.
yeah,
She was that necessary voice, the voice of reasoning for the everyday person.
Well, to
So,
get them to start thinking, because it was usually her. She was usually in the scene that came before they really had to look at the hard truths. They really
Right.
had to really
right,
start looking
right,
Right. I love that.
what
Yes.
they
I
wanted for
definitely
right,
love that.
themselves and then start going for it, right? Like especially
right.
Yes.
Tatum. Like that was
but
the
listen,
you know.
and I can say this wholeheartedly. Like, now we just didn't like that Nadine was judgmental, but as far as hate, nah, we leaving that
Yeah,
for
I don't think
Mother
she was
Miller
hating.
and Reese.
Yeah, I just think,
Yeah.
I had friends on my shoulder to be like, nah, you shouldn't do that. Shut up, because I'm gonna do it anyway. I mean, that's just what
Right.
it is. I'm gonna do
Listen,
it.
And the hate
So
for them is
Mother,
totally justified. You know what I
right.
mean?
And
Mother
Like,
yeah,
Miller
and
could
I
totally
take her a
love
justified.
that
short
she
walk.
was like that. And to think that you a judgment to mom, and look at the daughter you raised. Like, mom, come on, get with the program. Like, I love this
Hmm.
for
Yes.
them. I
Mhm.
just love that. And let me say, I love the growth in Elisa. Elisa got on my damn nerves. She was loud and obnoxious, but she was getting dicked down. Good God.
Listen,
Good gosh.
But
Like, I
Alyssa was
was
just
so
and
happy for
Alyssa's
her.
just your loud, obnoxious favorite cousin. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
Mhm.
And
your wild cousin that you
you
always grew up with.
couldn't not love her. But I actually told Untamed, like, I loved the oaths. I loved it. But the offer, it's my favorite between the two. And I just love the growth in Elisa. I loved seeing, her relationship and her private time with Kristoff. I love seeing her private time with Kadeem. I love seeing Kadeem and Kristoff together. I love seeing them as a couple, them giving her what she needed, what she
Hmm.
deserved,
yeah,
and her second guessing herself, but realizing I'm that bitch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can
yeah,
do this.
exactly.
yeah.
And
So
I don't
I
have to prove
loved
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant like
Well,
you
I do
grew her
want to
up.
ask. I want to ask Lacey though. Was there any parts in either book that was tough for you to narrate?
Yeah.
No, no. I always tell people because they'll ask me like, "What are your triggers?" or "What are you
Hmm.
read trigger warnings? What's the thing that you just can't?" My only like trigger is a book that where the child is taken away from the mother,
Yeah.
especially when it's
Okay.
unfair, it's unwarranted,
Right.
and they make that a part
Hmm.
of the plot. I can't do that. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was so far from that. Every
Hmm.
part of it, it was like amped it, loved it. Well, okay, I think the part that I was hardest for me was when Franklin died.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That was.
Um,
Yeah. That was
because
hard.
there was a lot in both books because of the women's age range, and especially Tatum having a grown son that I could relate to. And that's one of the
Hmm.
Hmm.
things you think about when you've been with your partner for so long. You guys are getting
Yeah,
older, somebody gets sick, or they're just,
yeah.
you start to see, mortality, and you're like, oh God, I think was hard in that I could see that, like, how would I take that? What would I do? I can easily say she needed to eventually learn that she has to live life for herself, yada, yada, yada. But when you're
Right.
in it, it's a totally different thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Exactly.
Yes.
And
yeah.
then plus two, I think that was the tough part for me only because he was older, as you said, they were a mature couple, but they hadn't gotten into their golden years yet.
Hmm.
Right.
Like
Years.
they were just
Yeah.
getting there, and it was like that part that when you're mature, you get into your glorious middle ages. You look forward to that time with your life partner where life is slowing down and you can go and enjoy the
That
kids are
part where
grown
kids
and
are growing, and
yes.
you get to be back to where you were before, where you had
Hmm.
unlimited time for each other.
Right.
Like
And
you
that
have
Yes.
that.
time that they had, that time that they would have had, he majority of it he's been sick. So
Hmm.
like,
Exactly.
when Morgan goes off to college, by that time, Morgan's at this point, I think he's like a junior or whatever in the book.
Mm-hmm.
He's been sick all that whole time. So it's
Mhm.
just like, okay, we haven't had to enjoy the empty nesting, and she doesn't
Yeah,
get
right.
that until he is dead, and like
Yeah.
he is.
Right.
She's like, okay, I really am alone. This is a lot,
Mhm.
Right.
So when she
And
was
that's
there for the
why
first time
we
alone,
was
it's a lot.
glad she told Morgan, listen here, basically, I wouldn't expect this judgment from my gay son.
I
My
remember.
friends who read it for me was like, man, F them kids, man.
Pretty much.
I
Pretty
remember
much.
Was
reading
like
when I
F
read it
Morgan.
before I narrated it. I remember thinking, I was saying in my head, you was with her assistant
Her
sleeping over
TA,
here
yeah,
Your
older and
TA.
she
her
didn't
older
judge you.
TA.
What the hell? But that's to me, I
Ooh.
love that whole because he was human. He was a kid that was starting to realize, oh, my mom is an adult. She's a person.
Right,
She's not mommy anymore. I can't. I'm too
right,
old for that.
right, right.
Oh, the
Yeah.
opportunity, Morgan and her husband.
No,
Mhm.
not that.
I mean,
No,
it just
no,
She
said
said no.
try,
no,
Crystal. Try. My brain said
no.
try. So,
She said no.
I'm gonna
Oh
try.
my gosh.
I'm definitely gonna
Oh
try.
my God. I cannot wait because I'm going to the Vire. We'll actually come back and do a review on that one as
Yes, we
well.
will.
All I
So
can say is, and I've said it on TikTok, and I know y'all follow me on TikTok. A couple of y'all follow me on TikTok, but I said
Yes.
y'all might not like me after this book. Y'all might not like me. Y'all might be
listen,
mad at
Well,
some
is
choices I
Alyssa
made.
gonna have a baby? I feel let me tell you what I thought was gonna happen when you brought it up when she was like a surrogate, and when they talked about the surrogate, it was like real brief. And I
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
was like, oh, is she gonna have a baby? And I was like, that would be so cute.
Oh. I feel like their books were I think it was Kennedy Brian talking about people who choose not to have kids and then they still like she wasn't going to do that to her character. Like people were like, is it going to be a secret pregnancy or oops baby, and she's like, no,
Right.
she don't want no kids, it's okay. And for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, yeah, if they don't want kids, don't do
Now,
that to my
yeah,
characters. Don't let them
yeah,
be who
that
they
is true.
are.
I
I'm
think
like,
for
yeah,
It's
for
hard
if they
though
don't
because
want them.
Alisa, I think for
reading
Alisa though, she
romance,
was
you got that secret
yeah,
baby, you have that oops baby, that's a whole
yeah.
part of the storyline that you love, but it's like one of those things where it's like, it's not really for everybody.
I'm not Secret Baby is my least favorite trope, so y'all ain't gonna see that from me.
Okay.
But it's my least favorite
I
trope
don't
out
want
of
it to
there.
be a secret. She done took that IUD out. I want to see a baby popping out.
you want to see a baby pop out?
She done took just like the IUD popped out. That a baby need to pop
Let
out.
that baby pop out.
Make that
But
baby pop
she
out.
I think the part where he mentions, oh, we're gonna have a surrogate,
Surrogate,
she was
right?
hurt because she
Yeah,
was
she
like, wait a
was.
minute,
I-
like,
am I not good enough? But because that was
am I not good enough?
Elisa's MO.
Exactly.
That's her
Right.
MO. Yeah.
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 And that kind of broke me a little bit because I'm like, damn, she feeling that again. Because I was like, dang, is she over it? But she's feeling it again. Can we talk
Hmm.
about my favorite man? I mean, I have two of them, because I would love to be in between Cassidy and Kadeem. I mean, yeah, I would love to be in between
baby,
them two. But
baby, I
Cassidy,
was Miles and Kadeem for me. Miles and Kadeem.
Everybody has a favorite, but
Cassidy,
yeah.
where did he come from?
So full disclosure, and it's not
Hmm.
necessarily based on this guy because I don't know nothing about this man. All I've seen is his TikToks. But there is a guy he's black and he's an astrophysicist on TikTok, and his name is Dakota Tyler. And I always thought he was cool. He had a grill, he has a beard, all that stuff. And I was like,
Let me
oh,
look
that's
Child,
up
so
his
you
picture
gotta
cool.
send
later.
me his TikTok.
Yeah,
Um,
You gotta
I was
send me
like,
his
that's so
him
TikTok.
up,
cool. He's like,
right?
just authentically himself. But I don't know nothing about the man, like his
Oh, I'm
proclivities
gonna
and
find
none of
out
that stuff.
for you.
I don't know. So y'all don't go to his TikTok harassing him, talking about you in a book. That's not true.
I,
It's not
I,
him.
I won't. We
Um,
won't go there. I just want to see. I just want to see how he
but
looks. Seriously.
Oh, I'm about to see. I'm
I'm
about to
always
see.
drawn to like guys who are like sexy but nerdy. And
Mhm.
Yes.
so I'm always like good about. I think I'm good at writing a guy who's really sexy and nerdy. So
Well,
for me,
baby,
Cassidy is the epitome of sexy and nerdy.
listen. Well,
As
Miles
far
was my epitome just for sexy and nerdy. Cause baby,
yeah,
listen. Like and that may attribute a little bit of that to Lacey because that voice she used for Miles, I was
yes.
like, he can
Yes.
get me to do whatever he want to do. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think my
So
favorite thing I like about Miles is that he has a long memory, like he remembers everything.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
And then when he told her, "You can't change your sin," I've memorized it. That was the first,
Yeah,
like my
yeah.
favorite
Yes.
line that I wrote
I
out
love
in that
that
whole
because
book.
for me, it felt like, you have that storyline of he loved her from afar for so
Yes,
long,
Yes.
yes,
and
He
Yes. I
did.
love that.
he still went and lived his life. He didn't let it
yeah,
like stop him. What's that movie, Love Actually, where
yes.
at the
Mhm.
end and
Yes.
he's telling her how he feels so that he can kind of
Yes.
release it and move on.
Release it.
I
Yeah.
I just was like, oh, that's that whole love from afar. And now it's his turn.
Hmm.
It's his chance.
But
Yeah.
then when you think
And
about Deacon, who's like, okay, well, I've been here the whole time. You loving
Hmm.
somebody else. You loving two other people, and I love
Mhm.
you, and I love her too. So just like, what about me? So
listen,
That
I
was
yeah,
want to
so
tell
sweet.
you right now, I love Miles with Deacon and I love Miles with Taysom. So I
Yeah.
was like, and I
I
love them
love
both of
Tatum
them.
and Cassidy. Like, I don't know, it's something about them. It was like I mean, she had a great relationship with all of them, but I just felt like her and Cassidy had like a different type of connection.
I think they're not saying that the other people are dumb, but I'm just saying that they're
Right.
more like intellectual equals
Yeah.
in a
Equal.
way.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I
Mhm.
think that's
Yeah,
what it is. Yes.
yeah.
So I'm looking at the guy. He's light skinned. He has a full, first of
I
all, I
I
love a man with
Me
First of
too.
all, ma'am,
yes.
Well, he
Now,
don't have the TikToks up, but did he used to
yeah,
play
he kind
football?
of reminds
Oh, he
me of
played
Tyler.
football for the Bills. Okay.
Yeah, he reminds me of Tyler Lepley a little.
A
Tyler
little, yeah.
Lepley.
But in my
Yeah.
mind, I was thinking Tyler Lepley,
Yeah, I see
yeah,
now looking at him. Yes, I can see that. Now
yeah,
he got a bald head, and I do like a man with a bald head in the whole list because it's nice,
yeah.
But he need to keep his hat on. I like him better with his hat on. Yeah,
Let's not
I
talk
like
about
him
that
better.
man's head now.
Yeah, yeah, I like him better with his hat on.
Oh my gosh.
But
But
you asked me about
listen.
Kadeem. For Kadeem, there was this football player that used to play a long time ago, and his name was Sean Merriman, and he
Oh
was
yes.
Yes.
like this
I
Yes.
big,
think I know who you're
huge,
talking about.
Mhm.
Hmm.
humongous, like just humongous, massive
Mhm.
guy. But I was thinking a big, huge, massive guy, but like a teddy bear,
Mhm.
like a
Hmm.
soft,
He was
sweet
a
teddy bear,
linebacker. That's how they got
linebacker.
him
Yeah,
Yes.
beat.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ, his
yeah.
shoulders look strong.
Yeah, so I was thinking him for him. As far as like Kristoff, I don't know if I had really had anybody. I think I had Aldous Hodge or something like that.
That's why I know him. He's from the DMV. Sean Merriam is from the DMV. Yes, that's
Oh, you're talking about that location. I was like, is
yeah.
that
What?
real?
You're like what?
He's from where I'm at. He's so yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
His
Oh my
shoulders
goodness.
his
We said
shoulders look
Aldous
strong.
Hodge. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, for
Christopher
Kristoff,
Miles.
Oh,
like
Aldous
Aldous
Hodge
Hodge.
is for who? Mouse?
No, for Kristoff for sure.
Who did
Do
you have for
you not
Miles?
understand? That's why you owe
Miles,
me panties. That's
um,
why you owe me a pack of panties. I'm now
She's been talking about this one.
I don't think I had anybody in particular for Miles or
We
Deacon. I
have to
just kind
find
of
somebody for my
no,
son.
Aldrich Hodge. Everybody loves the brother. He's taller, but I started watching
You lost his baby
FBI
brother,
criminal.
Edward.
He's
Criminal
on FBI.
FBI. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I had no idea who you guys were talking about, and I had to type it in. I spelled it all wrong, but it corrected me, and I know who you're
yeah.
talking about
I
now.
love him. Like when you see, if you go look at him on the show, his smile is gorgeous. And actually, he's the older brother.
okay.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Edwin.
the
yeah,
Isn't
older
his
brother.
name Edwin?
It's Edwin. Yep, Edwin
yeah. Well,
Hodges.
Hodge.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
older
yeah,
brother, but his smile is gorgeous. Like they
yeah.
actually have
Yeah.
a movie coming out together this year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
excited, but no,
Wait,
that oh,
who is his brother? Wait, I'm lost.
Aldris Hodge,
Who's
Aldous
his brother?
Hodge's brother's name
Aldris
is
Hodge, yeah,
Edwin
Aldis.
Hodge. Edwin
Mm-hmm.
Hodge.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Where's the picture?
Yes, yes.
The
Oh yeah, I
purge.
love me some Edwin.
Why is it not showing his picture? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look it up.
I think if you click like the siblings, oh Lord, he married. Oh Lord Jesus.
Most of them are.
I
I said
know.
most of them are married.
Yeah, it's okay. I can lust. That's about it. That's
Mm.
about it.
I
I don't. I'm not touching
well,
nobody else's.
Crystal and Lacey, I just want to ask y'all, like, so what are y'all's like overall thoughts about both books?
Oh, okay. I'll go first real quick. So my overall thoughts about both books. So the Oath. I was not expecting the storyline, and I'm glad I picked it up and read it. It
Mhm.
showed me that after death, you can have the life you deserve.
My kids are scaring the shit out of me. They're messing with me. They're moving my mouse from the other
You just, I mean, like literally, you probably lived a good. They well, look,
side. Bye.
look,
This heifer.
look. No, I'm glad because my daughter's not here because she likes to bother me when I'm on live
Oh
too.
my god, she scared the
Yes.
crap out of me. She's like literally, my laptop is outside of my booth, and I have it on Wi-Fi, the mouse. So I'm like trying to look at Edwin Hodge, and it's not letting me do it. And she out there just do.
Kids love, yeah, that's what they
Oh
love
my
to do.
gosh.
I also said I loved how the men loved Tatum and how she realized that she loved and needed them. For the offer, I just wanted Alyssa to shut up and live for once.
And
I
live.
understood. Yep, that's what I
Live.
said. I understood her hesitation with Chris at 22. I loved how she called him 22, but live
Uh-huh.
a little and see what happens. She did drive me crazy and I wanted to shake her, but I also enjoyed her relationship with each man. Now, what I love the most about this book was her relationship with Chris' mom. Like, now I was so glad that she got a chance to have a
Yes.
relationship
Yes.
with
Yes.
a mother
Mhm.
figure.
Right,
So
right.
that's my
Yes.
overall thought. So, but also top tier sex, phenomenal. You did that.
Yes,
Thank you.
Lord.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
Lord.
did that.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
hadn't been that turned on in a long time. Well, Lacey, I'm gonna let you go, and then I'll tell
I don't know if
y'all
I can follow that.
my thoughts.
I think really with both books, the thing that
Mhm.
I loved the most about them was just how relatable it was to me. Like I
Yes.
could really see myself in that. I could see the stages that they were at in their lives. I could see commonality, and it helped me to just put myself in that fantasy, right? And
Mhm.
just really live through it. I narrate a lot of stuff where it's somebody that's so different and opposite than me in a lot of different ways, from skin tone on.
Mhm.
And
Right.
in a book where the situation is something that is close to home, um, it really touches me. Like I literally was
Mhm.
like, so I have like my friends. I don't have a lot of real life friends, but I have like a core group of real life friends, and they don't read romance books. So I don't really talk to them a lot about the stuff that I narrate or the books that I love, because that's just not their thing. But the
Mhm.
girlies that I've met online through narration, the first thing out of my mouth was, "You need to go get this book. It is Black Wide Shoes. I've never seen that. If
Yes.
anyone
Yes.
recommends, let me know." Because it just was like okay, it just
Let's.
really hit home. And it was realistic white shoes.
Yes.
Because a lot
It
of
was.
times white shoes is not. I did a series
Realistic.
and I loved the series because I'm a romance girly. I love it. I love dark romance. But it was a lot of killing and this and that and things that it's not realistic. But this one,
Hmm.
I just really could really connect with it. And I love that.
Mhm.
Why
Yes.
choose?
Thank
I
you.
like that.
Yes.
Why
And
choose?
I tell you so much. Like for me, although this was erotica, there was this wholeness in the stories that she
Yes.
brought, Tim. That, like I said, they focused, even though there was sex and there was some great sex
Oh my
that was
God, the
in it,
sex.
it's some great sex. I won't lie. The focus was on relationship over sex, and like I said earlier, the sex was
Yeah.
the bonus.
Mhm.
And I just appreciate you basically bringing a topic that tends to be taboo and
Mhm.
making and talking about this unconventional love and
Yes.
bringing shedding a light of understanding and grace to
Mhm.
people who don't necessarily live like the next person. Like Lacey said, they're not over here with husband and wife with 2.5 children, but
Mhm.
that doesn't make their love any less real or them abnormal in some way. They
Right.
just love differently and they love who they love, and
Right.
than
And they said, fuck
what
them kids.
society says, you
Yes.
know. And so
Yeah.
I love that part about the stories the most, and the fact that, especially for the broad scope of the topics that
Mm-hmm.
you touch with death and then with
Hmm.
politics and these imagings and things like that, the way you're able to condense these stories with no plot holes, have them fully like be complete,
Mm-hmm.
and the book is not like extra thick and long. It's
Right.
condensed.
Yes.
I was just like, this is true ass magic.
It is.
Thank you. Thank
This
you.
is
And I
true
mean, I got to
magic.
give it up to my beta readers because, without them, I wouldn't have this book. I also have to give it up to my writing group, Word Makers, led by Tasha L. Harrison. So, I mean, plugging that story out to them and then giving me feedback about it. Because at first, when I had this idea, I was kind of in between projects and I was like, I just
Mhm.
want to do something to just stretch my muscle and see if I can really do it.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the people I admire were like, Kat Jackson and Rebecca Weatherspoon, which I mentioned and stuff like that.
Right.
Were people who were writing Polly and Black Polly and stuff like that. So I thought,
I
oh, I
was say
wonder if
Cash
I could.
Jackson. I've read some of her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's amazing. So I
Yeah.
was like, I wonder if I can do it. Just can I do it? This is what it was. It was just an
Hmm.
experiment to see if I could do it. And I learned.
Yeah. I read Brandy Bush the Nanny. That's another one. Good. That's another one that make you want to cross your legs and what? Yeah, you need panties for that one too. Mhm.
Well, I broke my husband. I think I almost did. I did.
Is she on mute? Because I can't hear her anymore.
Oh, sorry, y'all. So,
Okay.
yeah, the nanny was kind of sort of inspiration for the
Right.
offer, but I was like, no, I need some like political intrigue and
Mhm.
I love.
stuff
I
in
like I
there.
said. I
I
love
loved
that.
it.
But
Yeah.
you. I don't. I don't. I really like. I was telling. So it's a girl that works for me. She likes to read. She was like, I need another book. So she read, she actually devoured two of Kennedy Ryan's books like
Mhm.
that. She did This Is Us, This Could Be Us, and Before I Let Go, like literally in 2 days. She came back and she's like, oh, I'm finished. So I told her about your book. I said, but don't read it here at work because don't be coming in here looking at me like I'm crazy.
Listen, I'm trying to
I
tell
mean,
you.
this is I will say this about the oath and the offer. These aren't, you got to know who you recommend in these books too, right?
Yeah, you're
Hmm.
right.
Because I've come, when people tag me on things on TikTok and stuff, I don't really comment. I might put a like or heart or something like that.
Hmm.
I don't really comment, but I do see people's comments, right? And
Right.
Hmm.
so, I remember there was some girl going around like almost every post that somebody was saying they liked the book. She was like, I just couldn't get with it. It made me cringe. Da da da. And I'm just like, you got to know who you're recommending the book for
Yeah.
because it's not for
Hmm.
everybody, you
I
know.
see. That's why, cause see, I would have been mad, cause I'm not even gonna say what I just popped in my head.
I mean, and it's okay. It's okay that it's not for you. It's fine,
Yeah, and
you
see,
know.
It's
Yeah.
and
That.
but
I
you
think
know,
even when I
yeah,
did my review, I said something to the effect of, you know, hey, if you can tolerate this, this, and this, then give this book a try. You know what I'm saying? But I put in my disclaimer on it because you're right about that. I do understand that it
hmm
is for some people. It's still, regardless of the fact that you did an excellent job on writing it in such a way where it's not just feeling like, oh, it's just because sometimes sometimes erotica can just feel like the sex is just it, and that it has a true story, and that you gave it depth, and you gave your characters depth, and you gave it meaning. Some people still just can't look over that part. They
Yeah.
can't look
Right.
over the thing, like
Right.
in their
Right. And
head.
and then I was having a conversation, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, I'm saying,
Oh, you're fine, you're fine.
but I was having a conversation with a couple here on Instagram.
hmm
They run it's a black couple who are poly. They're quite popular actually. And the guy was saying, people focus so much on the sex and not the
yes,
Mm,
relationship that we've
hmm
built together as a family, as a unit. And I said, oh my God, I feel like that just writing about it, people were so focused on the sex and the act and the sexual act
Mhm.
and not that these were relationships that were building between these people, particularly with um Elisa and Kadeem and Christoph. They were building a
that's why I
family. They
love
were
that
trying
one
to
Yeah.
so
build a
much.
family,
yes,
Yes.
Yeah,
and he, like he says, like our idea of a family is not like everybody else's, and it's not going to be like
Mhm.
everybody
right.
else's.
And I don't think you really learn that until, well, I can't say that because everybody is different. But
Right.
Mhm.
like I said, when I was, I think I was 28, maybe 30, when I found out about my friend's close high school friend she was in their wedding and how their life had morphed. They became
Mhm.
in this, I get poly relationship, but it's four.
Mhm.
The two couples, they merged
They got an
together.
uncle, daddy, auntie, mommy.
Yeah,
Going
yeah,
through.
yeah, literally, because their kids were like, our kids were like 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? So I was just so wrapped up. I wasn't even wrapped up in the sex. I was just wrapped up in the houses with the kids, who's disciplining
Yeah.
who, or
Right,
whatever.
Yeah.
right.
But
Yeah.
now, as I look at it, I'm like, you know what? We pick who our family is naturally
Yes.
throughout
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's who they wanted their family to be, if those are the people that they trusted to help raise their children together, that's a beautiful thing. And
Yeah.
I used to always tell my husband, as long as the person isn't someone who has some kind of issue with children, if they're giving
Right.
my children attention and they want to spend time with them and listen to them and not cut them off or ignore them, I
Mhm.
I'm not going to hate on that. I'm going to welcome that. So even if, well, I think it was more so because at that time his brother and him weren't really getting along, but his brother wanted to spend all the time with our kids, and I was like, let him,
Right.
because that's a relationship that they need to have.
Right.
I treasured that. You
Right.
build your
That's
own
true.
family as you grow up, and things like
Mhm.
that is who you choose. But I wouldn't have
Absolutely.
never understood that then, you know,
Yeah.
like there's
Right.
just no way for me.
Yeah,
And
and maybe the book is for people of a certain, age. I only mostly write people over 30, over 40. So, I've
and I
never really
love
written
that too.
anybody over young yet, but
I
it's just
love that
it
you tackled on an older age
right,
group.
right.
I
Mhm.
Because
appreciate that.
something like the death of a spouse, and I mean,
Yeah.
although that can happen to anybody at any age, but I think when you're right at that, like you were saying, those kind of that years where you were gonna enjoy it,
Yeah,
it's very,
Mm-hmm.
very different. And I
and
think,
you write it in a
yeah,
way where it's not okay. So yeah, we're older, but we're still sexual beings,
and
and
we
that's
still have
okay.
life.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we still have
You
a
know what
life
I
to
mean?
live.
Like
Yeah.
you really,
Still live life.
to me, that was like, oh yes, thank you. It's not like, oh well, you're old, so you can't like this, or this part's broken down, or that. Because sometimes people tackle it and they take it in that direction. But for you, it was just like, that's their age. Yeah, this is where they're at in life. But that don't mean they're not getting down. That don't mean that they don't
Right.
feel this way or enjoy this or enjoy that. And
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And
even with
listen, and
their
I will tell you, and I'll tell you this, because sometimes, especially when I think in your middle ages, you kind of get the stigma, especially because you start having children, and they're like, oh, they want to put you out of pastor. All of the
Mhm,
younger
mhm.
generation wants to put you out of pastor, and I'm like, no, y'all the ones that don't need to be worried about this. You need to get your life together. We the ones that done lived life, and we can enjoy life, and
Right,
Right.
right,
this is for us,
That's
right,
why I told my
right.
kids to put me in the nursing home. Do not take care of me. Let me go to the nursing home because I want to be able to do what I want to do. So if I want to go down the hall and be with John and Bob,
I
I
just
ain't
was
got to
gonna
worry about
say
you
that.
telling me I can't be with John and Bob. That's why I said
Maybe I
let's
should
start
write a
to
with
go.
nursing home. Watch you.
Please
Oh
do,
my
please
god.
do, please do. Oh
Or
my
either that, or you write where the hero or heroine have to deal with going up to the nursing home because their parent is living their best life.
Oh God.
that. It was
Oh
something on
God.
TikTok that was just recently like that, and the girl was like, and the mother, they were sisters, and they was like, yeah, make sure you put us in the same room because that's gonna be lit. I tell them at work, I'm like, y'all want to come to the nursing home with me? They was like, no telling what's gonna happen.
listen.
I said a lot of stuff, a
I'm
lot
trying to tell
of stuff.
you, I saw a TikTok, or well, it was not really a TikTok. It was someone had shared a video. You know how they always write over, it. And it was
Mhm.
like it was an old man coming out of the house and he was dancing. I don't know what the song was. I don't know if it was Nucky Buck or what. It was one of those old, and he was just kind of like he was so old. He was just moving like this, and it's like my bestie coming to pick me up from margaritas
Oh
and
yeah, I did
queso.
see that. I did. I saw that you put. Yes.
And I was like, "Yep, that is definitely gonna be me. If I'm in the
Uh-huh.
nursing home, it's gonna be lit. Because I'm gonna tell
Yeah,
you, we're
just
gonna be doing
drop me
everything
off.
we want to do in there."
Mm-hmm. Just
But
give me some moo and no bras. And if I still, read into
that
your
part,
Richardson, no panties, because there is, yeah, and it's just gonna be a good
no
time we
panties,
having.
no moo margaritas
Yep.
and queso. That's what we
Yep.
doing.
There we go.
Oh my
Sound like
god.
a good
I'm
time.
like, I'm like the little girl Scarlett. What you doing? What you getting when you go to the Mexican restaurant? Margarita. Yeah,
Yes.
Margarita. Yes.
I'm getting the margarita. So, as you probably already know, Crystal and I have both rated. both the oath and the author, and we gave it a resounding 5 headphones.
Headphones. Yes.
Oh,
So
yay.
Yes.
5 headphones, but I am going a little bit further because, damn it, it gets the golden mic.
Oh,
The
oh my.
they get the golden
Golden
mic.
mic. Yes.
That's right. Well, it
You
is
guys
so
do not
amazing.
understand how much we sit off camera and come up with stuff. It's ridiculous. Like we were
I
like, oh,
appreciate
let's do
it.
this. Oh, let's do that. Like our homecoming is about to be lit.
It is. It is. Homecoming
Yes.
season is gonna be lit on here. It is
Homecoming
gonna be
season is
so
about to be
fun.
lit. But you want to know what? This is my first books that I've, no, actually, I think I've read something under you by Tati. So I have
Yeah,
to
my
go do
Yes,
the
debut,
make
my
sure.
debut was the build up.
the build up.
Very
We
Yes,
mild,
read. We read
very
the build
mild
up.
compared to this.
yes. But this was phenomenal. I can't wait to see who next. If you want to slide in my DM and tell me who's when it's coming out, you don't have to tell me who it is. But if you want to just put a date, I'm all for that.
I have another traditionally published book that's coming out in 2025 in
Okay.
February. It's called Losing Sight.
Losing sight.
Um,
Oh,
Hmm.
and
yep, I saw
so
that.
it'll
Yep.
come out probably after that because I'm devoting this 6 month period to kind of promote that and all that stuff because it's kind of it's on a new imprint and all that stuff. So I'm doing that. But the book itself is halfway done. I mean, it'll be done in a few weeks actually, and then sent off to my beta readers. Like I had an alpha reader read it already. One of them cried. They were crying real bad in the first like 60
Oh.
pages. If y'all think Frankie made you cry, then this is probably gonna make you cry even more.
Oh,
Um,
Oh.
so Lacey, I'm warning you.
so she gonna have us leaking from two different ends then.
Jesus Christ.
Just for a little while, just for like a little,
Okay.
little tiny bit.
Oh gosh.
Then the
I'm
real
gonna
But
prepare my
shooter.
mind.
yeah, my
Yes.
alpha reader said she cried, and then another that I just said just read just a little bit. I had written a little bit more. Was like it's good, it's good. I like it, but it need to be nastier. I was like nastier. She's like, yeah, it need to be nasty. I was like, whoa, okay.
Well, you got to top the first two. I like I told them. I said I didn't think that she could top the oath, especially because it's only two.
That's what everybody said.
I
Yeah,
was thinking it's gonna be good, but it's gonna be different. But
yeah.
baby, it just
Man,
it topped it. It took it up another notch
when
in that
it was
realm.
at
So
secrets, I was like, oh, she going in off the
yeah,
top.
Listen, off
When
the
you
top.
started and they sitting there looking at her getting, being the throat goat, the back door, the front door, like, and they
Listen,
over there enjoying it. And I said, oh, she
baby,
going
I
in,
was
yeah,
and it
that
like,
was
just
their
got
introduction
I
better.
was,
to her.
Yeah.
Seeing her
I
enjoying
wanted my
herself is
membership
what turned them on,
expeditiously.
and I was like, oh, okay, they're different. They're more about
Yeah,
what she likes, not worrying
Yes.
so much so about them.
right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is gonna be
Listen,
good.
And
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
Yeah.
gonna
yeah,
I
yeah.
be
listen, and
doing
I didn't care what it was. I just wanted my membership expeditiously.
right.
I mean, clubs like that do exist. I mean,
They do. It's a few here in the DMV.
so I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yes.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I'm excited to read the next one. I'm gonna be
Thank
ready. I,
you.
I just know that
Thank you.
it's not safe for work.
No, it will not be safe for work.
It's not
Mm-mm.
safe for
I mean, it
work.
Um,
ain't safe for our
for
obesity
sure.
fever, but so it's it is not safe for the bed sheets.
And I will send you some panties and some cotton flannel sheets, some
Some
absorbent
dis-
sheets.
some
Yes,
disposable sheets.
some
Actually,
disposable.
one of my followers on TikTok is a person who makes sheets for like wet, water sports. You know what I mean? So she
Uh-huh.
makes the pillow, the blankets and stuff for water sports. And her name on TikTok is your favorite bedwetter. And so y'all follow her. Y'all go buy some blankets for my girl,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and you'll be ready for your water sports.
Come on, your face.
I'm gonna have
You
to
know
get a
what?
man by then.
I'm about to write this down right
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna
Come
go
on.
Yep.
follow her as soon
Your
as we
fade
Uh,
finish.
wet bedwetter.
I
Yep.
your
like that. That's
face
catchy.
bed wetter. I'm literally
Yeah,
writing this down.
I like that. Yes.
Ah, I
Okay.
am definitely because honey, when I tell you that right there, I was like, now of course we read romance, so we can get turned on, of course. That's the
Hmm.
goal. But I was just like, my God,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've heard
I
many
passes.
reviews like, yeah, I had to go pull out my BOB. I had to go, I had to go do
Yeah,
this. I had to go do that. I'm like, what? Like, are y'all
I
serious? One,
I
yeah.
I
said
think the
something
best
came
review
and
I
I
got was from
said,
like a male friend who was listening to
Mm-hmm.
it. He's like, yeah, I was at the gym, and so I got kind of, turned on. I had to leave.
Hey,
and
I had to
Lord,
hey.
and that's
leave. I
not
got
safe
bricked
for
up. I had to
public.
leave.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I
No,
got
you
Listen,
know
bricked
what?
up.
I'm
I had to
telling
I
leave.
you.
One of the things I really enjoyed has been watching you talk about it on TikTok, and you did a
Yeah.
TikTok with your husband.
Yes.
You were asking him, and he was like, "Have you met my friends?"
Yeah. He's like, have you met my friends? No.
He's like,
I
"I
was
don't
like,
think
Oh
that'd
my
be
God.
he's
enjoyable
like,
for
I
you."
don't think they do that. I was like, but you don't have no
Listen,
friends. He's like, exactly. Exactly.
Oh
and
my
I
and
said,
goodness.
what
I
about
just
my
want to
friends?
tell
Like,
you, like, you are so gorgeous. I'm just sitting here
oh,
looking at you
thank
like you
you.
are just the great, most
Like,
gorgeous thing in the
it's
world.
all illusions, girl. It's just wigs and makeup,
That
girl.
it's okay.
I love your voice because I was like, oh, who you can read some of one of your characters.
Who, me?
Oh, Nadine,
Oh,
yes, your
never,
voice.
never, never,
I'm
never.
a never.
Never. As a matter of fact, when we talked about a little bit about my traditionally published book, they asked me,
Mhm.
say, "Oh, are you interested in narrating yourself?" I said, "I respectfully decline. Please find someone else." And I gave them a list of folks, including Lacey. I said, "Pick one of them, because not me, not me, not me, girl."
Listen, never that,
Mm.
never that.
Mhm.
Look. I'm with you.
Mm.
As an author, I could not. I couldn't do it. There's some who
No
want to
way.
though.
Because even I blush at the things that I write. And then sometimes I go, I wrote that, especially after listening to Lacey read it, and I go, oh my God, I wrote that. Oh, it's so funny. Like, oh my
So
Listen,
you
God,
had
I wrote
JC,
read.
JC is a nut. He talk about me. He talk about so I done took my glasses off. Oh.
Look, I keep on taking mine off and putting them on. But
Listen,
no,
them
even
glasses
the
been
part
seeing me.
with the pegging, I had to stop. I had to push pause. I said, "Wait a minute! I didn't read what I think I just read." I was, I was,
Peg
Listen,
is
I was
not
shook.
uncommon. I mean, it's not an uncommon
li-
sexual act, and it's
Oh
not
no, I
uncommon
was,
to
I was
read.
telling people I
listen.
was in my 20s and I, met this guy and he was like, um, "Are you into pegging?" I said, "What the hell is that?" He was like, "Look it up and let me know." I reached back. I said, "Yeah, I'm not gonna call you no more."
I would have had fun. I've been
Listen.
tearing that bush up, boy.
Like now, yes. I thought
Yeah,
in
now,
my 20s I
yeah,
would
but
I
then
would do that.
I was like, "No, what?"
Yeah, when
Oh my
you young
goodness.
and not mature to
Yeah.
handle that kind of stuff. Yeah.
See, I wasn't telling
Yes.
people I was a trisexual in my 20s. Now, hmm, hmm,
He said, what?
yeah,
Oh man, it's too funny. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
mm-mm.
But that was like I said again, baby, I was when she said that about her and Kadeem had that conversation and he said I would have flipped, I was like, do
Yes,
it,
I was dead.
do
Yeah.
it, do it, sir.
It
Do
takes a
it.
lot of confidence for a big man to be like, I'll submit to you.
He said,
You know.
he
Right.
said,
Yeah.
I'll let you slip me out. I was like,
You say, I'll let you do it,
oh,
baby.
I
It's
was
Oh,
all
I would have
good.
loved to.
Yeah.
Him and Cassidy can slut me out anytime, 7 days a week. Y'all
Cassidy.
can y'all can sit and chew me like an Oreo.
Oh,
I
Oh
mean,
my.
she
put
said like
me in the
you.
middle, make me cream.
Oh
I mean it, do it all. Cause whew, Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
You
goodness.
know,
that
because
is
like
fun.
Kadeem was smart, but then he wasn't as smart as Cassidy. So you getting the smart side, and then you getting this
He
like,
wasn't smart.
yeah, he wasn't as
He
smart as
wasn't smart
Cassidy.
as Cassidy.
But
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
He
it's like
was
you going
he
from
was
the top of the
intelligent.
pyramid to like,
Right.
because they say, the little brain, they've been knocked around a few times, but they can knock me around while he trying to make me feel a little bit better. He can read to me while he knocked me around. Things like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness
Put
gracious.
me in the
Listen,
middle. Put me in, coach.
I
Put
listen.
me
know in
in.
time out, man.
Yeah. Uh,
No, he said I'm in the wrong
No, you in the right
Sorry.
place. You gonna learn some stuff. You in the right place.
Yes, yes, yes.
You in the right place.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
You
yes.
at the right place at the right
Right
At
time.
the
time.
right time,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
At the right time to learn something. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. But
Y'all
that's not, I
learned
mean,
something
but seriously
today.
about the pagan thing. I mean, I've read plenty of books. I think Lacey was talking about she narrated one of Rebecca's books that had pagan and stuff in it. So
Mhm.
I've read those type of books before, but you know, rarely with black people in them. It's
Right,
rarely with black
Mm-hmm.
people in them,
Mm-hmm.
or rarely it being done to a black guy. You know,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
so that's why I was like, well, I want to do that. You know, I want to talk about that. Obviously, something got to happen. You know, she just
She
can't do
went
Mm-hmm.
it
outside
all
the
the
box.
time. You know, she got to be able to, give as good as she gets or whatever. So
Yes.
Yes.
And I love
Look.
that she felt that she was confident. I mean, even though it's like Kadeem helped build her confidence, but she
confidence, yeah.
knew that
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
she can do this. Let me tell you, I think the most sexual that, like I said, the sex was hot in that book, but the sexual piece to me, that intimacy, is when he was putting a strap on her,
Hmm.
and when he was putting
Mm-hmm.
the dildo on her, and then
Mm-hmm.
how he showed her how to lube it up. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what the part was for me. That was like, of course, I thoroughly enjoyed that part. But
Yes.
another one was was in the oath. Oh my gosh. When Taylor said, I want to see Miles and Deep together, and
Yes.
then they,
Yes.
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 I said, Taylor, come on. They was like, oh, but you gotta join it. Oh, yes,
You ain't
yes,
saying nothing
come on.
Yep. Yep.
And I was like, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna tell you another thing that was probably different that we didn't really talk about.
Hmm.
I appreciated the fact that Cassidy actually, because they never done this, like in front of him,
Hmm.
like he didn't know
Yes.
that he actually took a mature high road and was like, enjoy yourselves. I know I'm
Yup.
straight. I'm
Hmm.
heterosexual, but I'm gonna let y'all
Hmm.
enjoy yourself because guess what? My focus still gonna be on her. We'll
Right.
have our own
Mm-hmm.
thing and let y'all have your own thing. And I was just like, now
Yeah,
let me tell you.
I mean, that's the dynamic of a MMFM, all these crazy
Mm-hmm.
acronyms, but there is always going to be, or maybe one person put the what we can put the what. Oh, I'm sorry, but there's always in that type of MMFM story that there's one person who's not necessarily down for them all together,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
just focus on the woman, but and I feel like in an effective why choose, and if it's going to be like that in that dynamic, that person has to be open with
Yeah.
Right.
visualizing and seeing the other
Mhm.
people get
Mm-hmm.
down the way they get down and not be
Because
creeped
a
out
huge
about it and be homophobic or whatever.
to me, a huge
Yeah.
part of it is the relationship between all of them. It
Hmm.
doesn't have
Yeah.
to necessarily be sexual what connects them, right? I mean,
Hmm.
there's going to be times, but regardless of whether or not he feels like he can be a part of an MM situation, they're
Hmm.
still a family. They're still a
Together, right?
it's not a
Mm-hmm.
throuple, it's a
Exactly.
quadruple. They're
Hmm.
still, yeah, they're still together.
Hmm.
And you got to have, I mean, you can't be in a relationship with someone or be close to someone and be so turned off by a part of who they are at their core.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So did
Because
they
he
get
was
a
their
bed big
friend
enough?
first and
Mhm.
foremost.
That is true. So look, so did they get a bed big enough for the four of them?
They did.
They
They
got they
did.
had to. They had to get a
And
They
the
bed
funny
had
thing
for the
to.
about it,
four.
that's another thing I liked about Miles. You got money long enough to close down a daggone furniture store.
Yeah.
Come on, Miles.
Like
And
Miles.
see, for me, if I'm gonna write these stories of these relationships and stuff, you gotta have big bank. Because first of all, you can't be in
Right.
no poly relationship and broke. I mean, how does that
That
work?
is true. That is
All
true.
Exactly.
y'all gonna be together and broke. How did I
Yeah.
mean?
That is
Somebody gotta
true.
have some
Listen,
money.
and
Hmm.
and not Morgan up here talking about someone. If you go, but if you do choose want to get married, marry Miles.
Now he's rich. She's like, but baby,
Because
they all
Miles is
rich.
rich.
You
Yeah.
know, they all rich.
She
You
was
And
like,
know,
you
no,
know
they all
what's
rich.
so
She was like,
funny?
even Cassidy. She was like, he's an astrophysicist. He was like, what?
What? Yes.
patent
So
holding astrophysicist. Yes.
I was explaining to so my friends, like I said, that I tell them I read, so they'd be like, I'm not reading the books you read because you read nasty stuff. Okay, that's fine. So I was telling them at the end. So my friend was like, "Did you finish the book?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, and it was so cute because they got married. She said, "Wait, what? How?" So I'm at work explaining how they got married.
I mean,
She said,
I said
"But how?"
legally she was one person's
I told,
wife.
and that's what I told her. I said,
Yeah.
"So legally, she was married to one." I said, "But they all have rings." So we're outside eating lunch talking about this. She
Well,
said,
listen, she
"What?"
talking about how it's people up here getting married and already married everyone. They just go to a
Right,
different state.
pretty
Well,
It's
much.
people living together for 30 years talking about, but we feel like we married. So I mean,
Right,
Yes,
that part.
we
I
common
used to
law
say I'm gonna get
married.
married,
right,
and you
oh
you
my
live in one
gosh.
state, I live in another. It's fine. Like yes, but
right.
it was just so many little things that you did that I loved.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
I
loved
think
it.
that the getting married part, I was kind of torn on that because I was like, I don't know, maybe that's cheesy. I don't know, but
I loved it though.
I
but
I
you
think
did
that
know,
was perfect for
too.
them.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
That was the
Yeah.
perfect cap for their relationship though,
yeah.
yeah,
because that was their goal that they were trying to find
Yeah, they wanted a
their
wife.
third life partner, their wife.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
so it was like the most natural progression was for all three of them to just
For
go
us to
and
get
get
married.
married.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was perfect. Like everything about it was a chef's kiss. Y'all, we are actually winding down. We can talk about this all day long, but
I know.
we
Oh,
are we are
and
winding down.
I wanna say, and I'm gonna shut up after this, but I want to say you had a drop the mic moment.
Okay.
Your
Okay.
drop the mic moment is when Kadeem was at the College Hall of Fame
Oh
and
yeah,
came out.
yeah.
He's like, let me tell y'all something real quick, which y'all not gonna do. Keep on sitting me in the
Right.
corner. I'm back. I got a husband. I got a wife. And I thank you for this opportunity. Drop the mic. I'm out.
Goodbye. Thank y'all for coming. God bless you. Good
Good
night.
night.
Yes. God bless
Exactly.
you and good night.
Exactly. Exactly.
But
Yeah, it wasn't Christoph's drop the mic moment. I mean, it wasn't his. It was Kadeem's.
Mhm.
I said, yeah,
yeah,
Kadeem,
Yeah.
tell him.
Yeah.
Tell
Kadeem
them.
said
I
he
think they
don't
both
care no
needed their
more.
moment. Yeah.
They
Mhm.
did. They really
Well,
did.
listen, you know what? After Kadeem, Mama and Daddy found out he didn't really care after that.
Yep.
That was he was like that was his biggest thing, his
Yeah.
biggest hump, his hurdle. So
Yeah.
after that, he was like, yeah, I got a husband and a wife.
What you got?
And I
It's
still
some
got
y'all
money.
ain't
What you gonna
got
do?
nothing. Right.
I still got money. So and I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, Kadeem, tell him.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But I do want to
Thank you.
give before I head off into this closing, I want to give you your flowers because you
Thank
are a
you.
USA Today bestseller for the
Thank
Oh,
all.
you.
yay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Congratulations.
congratulations.
Thank you. And
Congratulations.
it's all because of y'all readers and people talking about it and all this kind of stuff. Like friends that I know aren't even on TikTok was like, yeah, I'm at the hair salon. I see your book being read and all this stuff. And I was like, that's crazy to me. So I just thank
Oh,
y'all. Thank the readers. Thank y'all so much. Thank Black TikTok. I'm gonna say it. Black TikTok, Black
thank
Bookstagram,
you.
Black
Yes.
Twitter for pushing this book because without the community, man, this book would be nothing. So and it's going into the hands of other people. And I also want to shout out Mel Saveda from Steamy Lit, who also had it in her book box at
Hmm.
the special edition, which went out to a whole number of people and they were talking about it and stuff. So I'm just blessed. All glory to God. So I'm just thankful.
Yes,
So,
Yes,
congratulations. Keep the
congratulations.
thank you.
panty wet and sheet dripping. I mean, good God.
Girl, yeah. Now listen, we gonna go get them sheets. That's what's gonna happen. We gonna
Yes,
go
Y'all,
on this
I'm telling y'all,
some sheets.
visit her on TikTok. Your favorite bedwetter. She's
yes.
awesome.
Oh, I
Y'all
got
order your
already started
blanket from her.
reading it so I can go back later.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. But I want to give you, but I'll start with you, Tim. I want to give you opportunity to tell everyone who may not be following you or may not know where to get your books,
Okay.
where they can go. And also, if you have any upcoming events.
Okay. So, yeah, you can follow me on all social media platforms under the same name: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I made it pretty simple. It's Richard Writes on WRIT.
Mm-hmm.
Play on Richard Wright. Richard Writes on everywhere. My TikTok, I'm there, probably more active there than anywhere else. You can also go to my website, TatianaRichardson.com, where you can sign up for my newsletter. That's where you get exclusives, you get bonus chapters. There's actually a bonus chapter for the oath there. So,
Ma'am, hold on. Let me sign up
On
right quick.
my way.
Because
dropping
I,
bombs.
I'm
Right?
on my way. Hmm.
I am on
There's a
my way.
bonus
Let me
chapter for
go
the oath
sign up
there.
for this.
Sign up. It's on Substack. It gives you insight into Franklin and his mind and where he was and giving his oath. And I actually was going to include it in the book as like a prologue, but I was like, nah, I'll just start with the beginning, just jump right in it.
I know
Um,
that's right.
and as far as any events this year, I think I'm going to be at Readers, what is it, RRAW in Alexandria, Virginia. Um,
When?
it's November 1st through the 2nd. So I pretty much committed to it today, like last minute today.
I'm gonna look. I'm
So
gonna have
I'll
to
be
check that
there.
out because that's in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'll be there. So November 1st through the 2nd. That's the only event I have so far this year. But next year is pretty stacked book.
Okay.
And you can get all my books on pretty much the audiobooks are pretty much everywhere. You can get them everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as far as like paperbacks and things like that, you can order them through bookshop.org, or you can get them on the Zon, or or you can get the ebook on the Zon as well. It's also in Kindle Unlimited too. So the ebook is exclusively on Kindle because it's on Kindle Unlimited, and so it's on Amazon. But paperbacks you can order through bookshop.org, or you can get them through Amazon. So yeah, that's where you can get all the books. But y'all follow me, and I have all kind of exclusive stuff. And if you follow my Instagram and all that stuff, you can see all the little snippets I have for book 3 coming out. I'm giving y'all hints. If you
Oh,
follow, you'll follow the breadcrumbs. That's all I'm gonna say.
let me go.
Yes.
I'm signing up for this newsletter. I'm about to get to see. I'm about to go in
Yeah,
investigative mode now.
that's where like I really do in my newsletter. I put like bonus chapters. I even had a bonus chapter for my debut, the build up in there. I have a bonus chapter for the oath. Like I said, there may be a bonus chapter for the offer, so we'll see.
Ooh.
So,
Yes.
and JC Storyteller said he follows you on IG, which
Thank
I think he's
you.
under
Thank
JC
you.
Storyteller there as well.
Thank
And
you.
so Lacey, I hand it off to you to let everyone know where
Uh,
they can follow you.
well, I try to be on TikTok a little bit. Lacey Laurel narrates. On Instagram, Lacey.Laurel. Um, I'm done this year. I did Steamy Lit. I did a thing in Denver. But next year, I'm actually really excited. I'm going to the Black Romance Book Festival.
I'll be
And
there too. Yeah.
oh, okay, okay.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I think that's probably going to be. Well, no, I'll probably go to Steamy Lit again next year. But there'll be those two places. Mm-hmm.
All
All
right.
right.
And Crystal, it's on you.
You can find me on IG at Books and Soul One, and then on TikTok and Facebook at Books and Soul. That's it.
All right. Well, y'all can follow me. Actually, I'll end up giving out two, but I'll give out one after I say what I'm about to say. But I am an author untamed on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok. You can follow me there. Also, I will be at the Black Romance Book Festival with the other lady, so I get to meet
Yes.
you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll be there, but I will be there under my second pseudo, which is Aries Sky. And so you guys can follow me at Aries Sky on Instagram and on TikTok. And I think I'm there as Aries Sky and author Aries Sky on Facebook too. So basically just Aries Sky. So it's you can find me there as well. Please make sure you guys are following the podcast at Get Caught Up Podcast on IG, TikTok, and also um YouTube. I keep wanting to forget YouTube so bad on YouTube. And then we have the Facebook group to Get Caught Up off the podcast there. So make sure y'all are following there. Make sure you're also following the actual podcast, the audio podcast. And audio podcast can be found on Spotify. All these different Look, I'm trying to do the closing. I got a whole closing. I'm trying to do it. So
Do you
I'm
think?
let I'm gonna let the closer do the talking on that part. So, and shout out to Mark Riller. He is a
Yes,
narrator, and
thank
he
you,
gave us a
Mark.
great opener and a great closer. I appreciate him. I'm trying to still do it, and he's like, "I'll give you one, so you don't have to do all of that." So, but thank you so much, Tim. It was such a great joy to have you join
Yes,
us.
thank you,
Thank you. Thank you
ladies.
for having
My great surprise to you ladies, because we were all three, like Lacey said, I want to do it if y'all do it. And we're like, okay, we're going to do it.
Oh
And so
yeah,
I
Mhm.
said, we
this is
got
so
to
much
bring
fun. I
Kim on here.
absolutely love it. Anytime you guys want to do a review on something, let me know.
All right. You ain't
We
taking
will
my
have
word.
you. Look, well, you know you already come back anyway, because we got to do one on the third book.
Yes.
Yep.
So listen, whatever all the books that you narrate for Tim, you know you'll be back on, but we'll actually have you back on for more as well too, because we're gonna be I think we got some more books coming down the pipe that you narrated too, Lacey. So
Yep, we
Okay.
do.
oh, thank you so much, JC. He said great show and interview.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Lacey
Thank
been
you
booked and
guys.
busy.
Yeah, she is booked and busy. I appreciate.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So thank you guys, everybody who was joining over here on Instagram for hopping in, popping in and watching us kiki and hee hee about I know
About
y'all probably
sex.
got more than y'all bargained for, but it's
About
okay.
hot
Yeah.
sex.
It's okay. It is okay. But I am going to hit us with the closer and then we will close it out. But look, before we leave, let me hit you one more time.
Yes.
With the
I love it.
golden mic, with
I
the
love it.
golden mic. So here we go, ladies. I had so much fun.
Me too.
For getting caught up with the Get Caught Up podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, or iHeartRadio and leave us a review. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Get Caught Up Podcast and let us know what you think about the show. See you in the next episode. Thanks for
All right. Good night, you guys.
Good
Night.
night.
Thank you.
Good
You're
night.
welcome.
Awesome talking to y'all.
Yes.